Do you remember Princess Mononoke? Princess Mononoke is peak Miyazaki, which is nuts when you consider he's responsible for all these bangers. Princess Mononoke is Miyazaki's most mature and most epic of his catalog, and like the dense forests that surround Irontown, it's a richly layered film covering several themes that include nature versus industry, the cyclical nature of hate and violence, and life and death. Princess Mononoke was actually my first Studio Ghibli film. It was the 90s. In that time, we saw quite a few films about saving the environment, and that sentiment also carried to other media. The imagery in the film is at once striking. Demon pigs, giant wolves, playful forest spirits. I was completely entranced by what I was watching, but I was ultimately confused. I mean, I was 12, so while those images were burned into my retinas, the bigger, more profound statements the film was making went completely over my head. Even now, Princess Mononoke can be an intimidating watch, and like encountering a powerful boss in a JRPG too early, I felt distinctly underprepared for it. It wasn't until I took a Japanese pop culture class in university that my already profound appreciation for Japanese culture became borderline obsession. I finally understood why cherry blossoms are a recurring motif, or why people bless their cell phones. It was like Japanese film, anime, and music became brand new to me all over again. I finally felt like I was ready to watch Princess Mononoke, and this time I could watch it with my eyes unclouded. Young Prince Ashitaka is forced into exile after a demon boar attacks his village and curses him. In an effort to end the cycle of hate, Ashitaka must travel to the west and embarks on a quest to find the source of the curse. His journey eventually puts him on a collision course with Lady Eboshi of Irontown. Lady Eboshi seeks to build a powerful arsenal so that she can protect her people. In order to do that, she needs to cut down the ancient trees that surround Irontown as fuel for her iron forge. Unfortunately, doing so is upsetting the natural sacred ecosystem, and puts her on the hit list of the local animal gods. And of course, leading the charge is our beautiful Princess Mononoke, San of the Wolf Tribe. Over the course of the film, we learn of the complexities surrounding both sides of the conflict. We meet the diverse characters of Irontown, and take a tour through the sacred forests nearby. We even meet the deer god himself, as Ashitaka takes it upon himself to find some sort of solution to the conflict. To better understand Princess Mononoke, an understanding of its backdrop makes it easier to contextualize the events of the film. For starters, the story doesn't take place in high fantasy. It's actually ancient Japan. Somewhere after 1543, because you see Lady Eboshi working on new firearms, and because you see samurai torching the countryside, somewhere before 1603 with the unification of Japan. Ashitaka is also the last prince of the Emishi, a real indigenous tribe that lived in the east and northeastern parts of Japan. The Emishi were skilled archers, hunters, and horseback riders, but like many indigenous cultures, were labeled as savages and barbarians by the imperials that sought to rule them. By the time we meet up with the Emishi in the film, they're already on the verge of extinction, making the demon boar's appearance and Ashitaka's exile an omen of the Emishi's eventual cultural fate. The Emishi were believed to be descendants of the prehistoric Jomon civilization, known for their distinctive clay pots with cord-like designs. If those pots seem familiar, you may have seen them in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where the Jomon civilization actually served as the creative inspiration for the Sheikah tribe and ancient tech. If you look closely, those octopus-like death robots called the Guardians are actually just upside-down Jomon pots. Oh, and fun fact, San's iconic battle mask is actually of Jomon origin, a cool little detail that places Ashitaka and San to be descendants of a very ancient people of Japan. Speaking of connections, perhaps my favorite thing about Princess Mononoke is the complex relationship of Ashitaka and San, a densely layered duality that emphasizes how deeply intertwined they are. I've mentioned before that one of the key themes of the film includes life and death, and some of the bigger characters like the forest spirit are representations of life and death at once. But what about Ashitaka and San? Well, they are at once prince and princess of a dying culture. This we've already established, but they are also representative of life and death, respectively. Let me explain. San represents life. She's fierce and always on the offensive, both verbally and physically, like an animal backed into a corner. Well, that's because her home is literally being cut down. She's fighting for the survival of her culture, like life fighting to endure. Ashitaka represents death. He's also literally dying, from the hate curse that he's received, but also metaphorically. When he's exiled, he's literally dead to his people. What's interesting is this helps contextualize his demeanor throughout the rest of the film. Because he understands and has accepted his own mortality, he is far more understanding, compassionate, and patient. He projects empathy to all he encounters. He doesn't choose sides, but seeks to understand.
そんなに力むと続かないよ、旅人さん。
厳しい仕事。
そうさ、4日一晩踏み抜くんだ。
ここの暮らしは辛いか。
でも、下界に比べりゃずっといいよ。
He wants to use what's left of his life to end the cycle of hatred. The guy literally wants to die in peace. Princess Mononoke is one of those films that needs to be experienced on the biggest screen available. If you want to see what I mean, check out the side quest I went on recently where I got to see Princess Mononoke on IMAX. I had a very genuine post-watch reaction.
Wow.
Princess Mononoke is story-rich and multi-layered, making it an excellent film to rewatch again and again. And while the core messages of the film haven't really changed in 30 years, neither have we. The climate crisis persists. Vulnerable groups are still fighting for the right to exist, and the war machine rages on. But change starts with you. And like Ashitaka, we need to start seeing things with our eyes unclouded.